Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Captain Quasar, and welcome back to another unofficial H3 waiting room. Um, I am an alien today. I know it might be hard to tell, so you can kind of make me your own ambiguous character, whatever. Pick, choose your own adventure game kind of thing. I think I look pretty good, if I had to say so myself. Um, we got this as well. Did a little beat for you real quick. What do I feel like I'm walking into Six Flags Fright Fest? Because that's the music I was playing. Duh. It's purposeful. Nice costume. Thank you. I'm running out. This was a last ditch effort. We're going to try and put some together for the rest of the streams for the month. I have like some ready for the end of the month, but it's like I don't want to waste them all at the beginning. I thought you were on go. Is this a Ligma joke? Yes, I'm a super spooky alien. But yes, we have some Reddit posts to look at today, as well as some videos by some law tubers and some updates on the whole H3 Snark lawsuit. Very interesting stuff. And then I'm going to read Sonic.exe. If we have the time, obviously. We'll get through as much as we can. But yes, how's everybody doing today? I found a Witchy Kids costume meant for 12 to 14-year-olds for only 50 cents, and it fits. Hey, as long as it fits, then it's for the ages are literally just for the sizes. That and you don't want children wearing the adult costumes. It's twofold, I guess. You don't want to go in the other way around. I'm going to be messing with these bangs all day. And by all day, I mean till the end of the stream. Looks pretty good, though, I'm telling you. Real flowy. I saw this. I still can't believe they paid $10,000 for this and it wasn't a bit. This is crazy. Not talked about enough. It looks like a joke. Getting random calls from random numbers. No, on go from It's Always Sunny. I guess I haven't watched enough It's Always Sunny. Oh. I do know what you mean, sorry. I didn't know that was the character's name because I haven't seen enough It's Always Sunny. Basically, I could reuse the costume. Right now I'm an alien. Maybe I'll do this later. Just get some thick frames. I think I literally have... Oh, it's not in here. I have some thick framed glasses like that somewhere, actually. We'll save this for later on. You died laughing at the live show. $10,000. I don't even think this is worth $1,000. It looks like it was put together in someone's backyard. Not even their garage. They didn't, have the space for it. So they had to take it out back. Like, it's literally just an office chair bottom. And not even a good one. Like, this literally looks like half of these are probably, like, filled with hair. So they don't roll properly. Was it supposed to be Next Generation or original Star Trek? If I asked my dad, he'd know, but I haven't watched Star Trek enough. Original Star Trek, no. The original Star Trek had... that would be a cooler seat. Next Generation. It's supposed to be the Next Generation seat. Human flesh chair. That is what it looks like. It looks like something straight out of Ed Gein's house. Office chair has an 8-pack. This is just an office chair that went to the gym. But then apparently Trisha posted this on her story. Was this aimed at Ethan by Trisha? She said, I hope everyone is capable of recognizing two truths can exist at once. You can absolutely be pro the freedom of Palestine, the end of a genocide, and in support of every effort to break the siege over an oppressed people, while also being against anti-Semitism, being friends with Jewish people, and being appalled by anti-Semitic attacks on innocent civilians. It really can happen. Hope this helps. I definitely think this could be pointed at Ethan, but also it's just super ironic because that's exactly the position that Ethan has. And I think I thought this was the post. I think I saw a different post where somebody was saying, or where like the Snark had posted this or something, and then people were saying that this was based, that what she was saying was like super like, oh, she's really woke, like basically was like the comment section. But I don't know, I feel like this is exactly the stance that Ethan has. This is honestly also more aggressive than Ethan has been. You can absolutely be pro freedom of Palestine, the end of the genocide, and in support of every effort to break the siege over. This is like almost talking down to the people that you're talking to a little bit. No way she even thought about Ethan, in my opinion. LOL, it's just Trisha. Does she talk about the conflict often? Because, I mean, I saw other people posting, like, the clips from the podcast in which Ethan was basically explaining to her how, the conflict, and she was saying that she had to delete her TikTok because people were in her comment section going crazy because she made some joke that was basically like, when your boyfriend's from Israel and you have people asking you, or people in your comments saying free Palestine, and you're trying to figure out where Palestine even is or why it needs to be free. It was something like that. And I was like, it's not even really a joke. That was just kind of like almost like a vent post, but love the wig, thank you. I think I'm pulling it off. Like I said, when I cut my hair, I can pull off any hair. Got my head done. You guys seen that guy? You know what I'm talking about? What's his name? I literally don't remember his name on Instagram and his rap name or whatever. But he did the song where he said, got my hair done. Got my head done. I just got my head done. Ethan is a Jew, therefore he is Zionist, therefore we hate him. Okay. Okay. I hadn't thought about it like that. No, I think she's just dense and saw that, thought it sounded like a good thing to say and reposted it. That's fair. Poor timing, I guess. Like, just coming after what Ethan had said, kind of calling her out for it, it just kind of comes in poor timing. I could believe that too. I guess the thing is the question has always been, is Trisha an idiot or super highly calculated? Because that kind of is the defining factor in almost everything that she does. Because you never know, was this like 20 steps ahead or is she 20 steps behind? We'll never know for sure. But here's Ian being bigoted and racist towards his boxing coach. Old habits die hard. After Ethan was posting all of the stuff and all of the, not super recent, but within the last 10 years of Ian just openly saying the N-word and the K slur, the N slur and the K slur on Twitter, just openly, and not even like just saying it, like calling people it, which completely is also like, see, I guess I just never went on Twitter, so I never saw that. But I think it's also in opposition to the perspective that he was trying to like express. But I guess maybe he understood that on YouTube he couldn't get away with it. But here's him being
Well, not like communication. Like, I
being
don't know, man.
bigoted.
Like, sorry, I'm not from fucking Dagestan, you loser. You know, you actually have to talk to me. You can't just like grunt and point in a direction. You actually have to communicate. Sorry, I'm making you talk to your client.
The only reason I know about Dagestan is because of the UFC. But basically, in Dagestan, they do have um, a high population of people that are like marrying in family, but uh, like obviously that shouldn't be used against them to diminish their character, especially if you don't know who they are. Oh yeah, bonks. He in Dagestan they do have I'm trying to figure out how to look this up. Um, Yeah, the inbred population of Dagestan results from long term geographical isolation and practices like endogamous and consan- consanguineous marriages, which led to high levels of homogen- homo- homozyg- homozygosity? Homozygosity. I've never heard of that word. Homozygosity. Zygosity? Something. And the inbreeding coefficient close to the worldwide maximum. While studies show genetic diversity within Dagestan, many ethnic groups, smaller, more isolated populations, like some Hindi speaking groups, exhibit particularly high inbreeding. This population, this population history also affects the distribution of traits, making some groups potentially more susceptible to environmental factors. And so it's just like I don't know. It's the same thing I was saying. Like the whole thing about oh, Hassan saying people Jews being inbred or Israelis being inbred is anti-Semitic. Oh no, it's not anti-Semitic. Oh, this and that. He just shouldn't be calling people inbred because it's diminishing to people that like do have like our parent like their parents were cousins or brother and sister even or whatever. Like they didn't choose that. They didn't choose for that to happen. They didn't choose for their grandfather to sell their mother to their cousin father, their uncle father. Like, and again, I'm not saying this to be diminishing. I'm literally saying that is what happens, and so I don't think that that is necessarily something that you should diminish the other people for. It's definitely not a good practice, but I think that they also, make sure that I think they do have the separation of uh, a certain, first, the second cousins or whatever. I don't know what the exact laws are. I just know that they do actually have a high inbreeding population. Um, but yeah, I only know about that because of people being racist to Dagestanis in like UFC, like under like UFC videos, like in comment sections and stuff. Uncle Grandpa on Cartoon Network. No, exactly. Is this a new clip or is he always in need of a shower? I'm telling you, I think he might think this is like a hot look. He thinks like if he looks like disgruntled and like disheveled, he's like more attractive. Maybe. I'd highly disagree, but it's a thought. Idubbbz is now claiming he actually never liked the H3 podcast and hated going on there. Claims Ethan has no friends. Um, yes, let it go. Sorry.
Said you and Ethan weren't ever close friends, but how long ago was it when you realized that he wasn't a real friend and it was just about content for him? I mean, that's always been the case. Like, you're friendly to do content together, but like, I didn't like the way that he was doing his fucking show. Like, I didn't like that shit. I didn't like that he brought on Dax Flame and essentially told him to do like to get angry and start drama with Charlie Puth. That was like a whole like premise after we did the Dax Flame documentary, Ice Cream Man. He brought him on. He was like, "Oh, this will be the angle for my show today." You know, I didn't like that.
I mean, you could not like that. It's still a decent premise. He did have beef with Charlie Puth. You're just going to ignore Dax Flame's legitimate beef with Charlie Puth, where Charlie Puth made fun of Dax's singing? Charlie Puth came at Dax Flame when he was a young child and was like, hey, well, he was like 15 or whatever, but he was like, hey, you suck. You're never going to become famous. And then Charlie Puth became famous and left Dax in the dust. It's despicable, really.
You know, and he thinks that it was awesome.
The iDubbbz episodes I hated watching. They were so painfully boring. I didn't finish them sometimes, and I always skip them when I rewatched old episodes. Fair point. See, when it comes to like YouTuber guests, he's definitely one of the lower tiers. Top tier, Jax Films, Eric from Common Etiquette. They're S tier. Ian's like Z tier. He's the bottom of the barrel. Look at this frame.
Awesome that he brought like Anissa and I on when we were like going through drama.
Yeah, he does have a failed show with Dax Flame that honestly could have been turned into something, but I feel like it was more. I don't know if maybe Dax didn't want to do it anymore, but legitimately it seemed like it kind of just fell through, and they didn't want to do it. So I felt like it was more Ian's doing, but that's just me. As somebody that was producing the show and putting it on his channel, I feel like the onus was on him to at least explain to us why the show wasn't continuing. I love Dax Flame. I'm his biggest fan.
And shit. But it's like, no, that was still like not fun for us. Like, so a lot of the things that he thinks of as like this great benefit that he bestowed upon us, it was just like a lot of that shit was just like it is what it is. Like, it exists. I can't say that any of it fucking helped me. I was already doing well view-wise without any of that. But yeah, it's just like a mutual thing. A lot of people do that.
I like that he's trying to cover it now. He's like, no, I didn't hate them and like was doing it because I just wanted to like get clout. I already had my own clout. I already was clouded up. No, but he was. I just love that he's literally he's basically saying that he's like, I already had fame and money. I was doing it for them. If anything, I was doing him a favor.
I would say like you can't like a lot of these people that you collaborate with online as like a fellow creator, you essentially it's a partial endorsement of their channel where it's like, I like this person's stuff, they like my stuff, and we can get mutual benefit from each other. Like it hasn't been terribly deep.
You got to splice in clips of Ian and Anissa loving being on the show and praising the H3 community, love and support. Yeah, all the tweets and all the times they've said it on streams and on videos and just every time they were on the show. Because the whole thing is, okay, so here's like, there's two options then. You're either lying now or you were lying then. So you're just a liar. You know what I mean? Either you are lying now or like you're lying now and you did appreciate the support. You found the fan base to be cool. You really appreciate, you know what I mean? Like either you enjoyed the community and the show and you're lying now, or you were lying then and being a disingenuous person who was just trying to benefit off of someone else's fan base that you didn't even appreciate, which also makes you a scumbag. So
like, and as much as he tries to make it seem deep, it's not deep. It really isn't. And I know that because I fucking I've been through a lot, and I know what a fucking, like, a real friend is. This stuff is...
Wait, wasn't Ian the one accusing Ethan of having a transactional friendship with him? See, Ian's just like, his brain is broken because he's tried to basically say that I think he's trying to make Ethan out in whole, like in totality, as like a opportunist who just tries to benefit off things in the moment. That's like what he's saying with the Dax Flame stuff, that he doesn't appreciate these like ways in which Ethan I don't even know, like manipulates the narrative, but then also wants to say that he never cared about it, and like I don't know, it is just like a cognitive dissonance I almost cannot understand, because it doesn't make sense on either level, because he's saying that Ethan's the opportunist in like the way that he acts with Dax Flame and the way that he talks about things, and Ian doesn't appreciate it, but he kept going on his show over and over again to be a friend and benefit him without in any way trying to correct him or like, you know, lead him in the proper direction. I don't know. It really does. It's just like you're either an idiot or a bad friend. Go on the podcast, Bad Friends, now taking place in Riyadh.
It's not even close to real friendship, not even remotely. And I do believe that Ethan is confused about that sort of shit, because I do not think he has too many like super close friends. And you know, I understand that. It's hard.
Yeah, that's also a good point of like, once you have kids and a family and responsibilities, like you're not really doing as much. You're not as focused on like these friendships that you've already developed. And I don't know what is a true friend to Ian, because Ethan's always supported him and done stuff and like, you know, shouted him out the things that he's doing and like, you know, given him some kind of credit even in like circumstances where he's been stupid and been wrong. So I don't know. Just overall, Ian's dumb. Anything else? So much empathy is oozing out of his pores. That's actually why he looks like that. So true. It's not grease, it's empathy. We saw this. No caption needed. No caption needed, but I did see some people asking if this is COVID related. My God. Are these cookies? Are these cookies with like strawberries on top? Because this one doesn't look done. It looks like, it almost looks as oily as Ian does. He honestly looks fine in this one. See, in some of them, he doesn't look greasy. He looks like dehydrated or something. Like there's something about like his skin. Like, and this isn't even like, I'm no dermatologist. You know, like, don't get me wrong. But like there's just something about him. He looks like he's like missing nutrients or something. And then she's handing him these, being like, here's some prolapses for you. Enjoy. Look what the dog did. The dog did these inside. That's what she comes up saying. Oh, you'll never believe what the dog did. What is... I genuinely don't know. I think they're cookies. I think they're supposed to be cookies. He looks malnourished. Yeah, he does. Stoically missing your friend's wedding because your wife has to get a back tattoo, juxtaposed with that with Joji, who rescheduled his tour to make the time to go to the wedding. I mean, how good's the tattoo? No, honestly, how hard is it to reschedule a tattoo? Especially when you're Anissa Joma. Anissa Joma. It sounds like a warrior's name, I have to say. No wonder she's always so steadfast. Anissa Joma. Anissa does tell him when he's hungry. What are those red things? I'm telling you, I think I figured it out. I'm pretty sure they're cookies. I don't know what kind, with strawberries in them. I hope that is what this is. Raspberries, maybe? Whatever it is, they look shriveled up. Very strange on a cookie. I think the red things are dehydrated, freeze-dried strawberries. True, that would make sense why they're a little bit shriveled up like that, smaller. Because I was like, they might be raspberries because they look smaller than strawberries should be. But like this one here actually does look like what you get out of like the frozen. Or maybe it is a raspberry. Or it's either a raspberry or she used a whole strawberry on this. Because this almost looks like an empty, like a bit emptied out. Definitely strawberries. Because yeah, this right here looks like strawberry. Looks like a strawberry side. It's fucking raw. The cookies don't look finished. They don't look done, but I guess maybe she didn't want to burn the strawberries. She heard the strawberries start sizzling and she was like, ooh, that can't be good. Why did she only put 2 on each cookie? It looks so odd. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do this, you should probably just slice them up and like put them around the cookie. But maybe she was trying to be more artisan with it. She didn't want the cookie to taste good. She wanted them to look good. Can't you tell? Look at his face. Oh, that's great. Do you think he uses a mousse in his hair to get it to look like this? Or do you think he legitimately just gets out of bed and just rolls over and then starts streaming? He's trying to do the Esteban too, but like he should shave it. It's not looking good, my friend. I am a fruit connoisseur. I used to have a job picking strawberries. Those are strawberries. Okay, I'll believe you. I can believe you. That's rage bait. That's what I was thinking. I was like, is she doing this on purpose? Is this legitimately like she's trying to get at us specifically? She wants the chat to. It's a humiliation fetish, but only to humiliate Ian. That's what her fetish is. That's bedhead. It just also looks kind of wet. You know what's interesting? In these 2 frames, this one he doesn't look that greasy, but then in the next frame he somehow accumulated a bunch of grease. I guess it's just not on this side. It's more so on this side of his face. But like somehow it's partitioned itself to one half of his face. The real question is, does Ian eat them on stream? Because if the food is a troll, then Ian is the one getting trolled. I mean, he ate her pie that he was like, this is bad. It's too sour. She made him like a raspberry pie or something, like some kind of pie. And he was like, oh, it's really purple, like this color. Or it was like, the color looked really good on it. But then he ate it and he was like, it could use some kind of cream. Or like something sweet, an ice cream or something to go with it. Because it's legitimately just like too sour right now. And honestly, I love a tart pie. So I could maybe get behind it. I won't hate. But it wasn't to his liking. And he honestly didn't know how to even save face for his wife's cooking. Why is his voice? Damn, Alex. You gotta come in hard on that. You can't be saying stuff like that in risk of your own hairline retreating. That's always my fear. That's why I try not to be rude. He's had it since he was a young man. He's trying to. That's why he's doing the messy hair look, I think, because he's trying to cover the edges, the receding hairline. Crab apple pie? Oh, is that what it was? I guess I wasn't paying attention when I saw that. Crab apple pie. Doesn't that legitimately just like sum up Anissa very well? For a rustic and flavorful dessert, crab apple pie is a delicious twist on the traditional recipe. The small tart apples create a complex flavor profile and a rosy hue, with a high pectin content that helps The filling set perfectly. Ooh, it's got pectin in it, so that it won't melt. Amazing. Shit hitbox, not gonna lie. He got going crazy. No, I was looking at the crab apple pie for a second. Yeah, the cookies, I still kind of have no idea. Just strawberry cookies, but I see there's strawberry cookies, but I genuinely can't if it's strawberries, I can't figure out what type of cookie this is. Why does it look so, like, why are they so uneven? We're taking too long looking at these cookies, but, like, they're uneven. Did she spin it around? Oh, she did. She had to show them all off. Get a look at every last one of them. So you can tell by which one has just the one. Oh, wait, let me turn it around. Let me look at the good ones. Like, I'm genuinely a little confused there, but okay. I love me some pectins. I eat my pectin weed gummies every day. See, I've seen berries on cookies before. Like, it's like an artisan thing. It is. Like, I've seen it before. See, this is just showing me actual strawberry cookies where they're, like, pink. That's not what I'm looking for. Strawberry topped cookies. Yeah, see, but even here, like, most of the time, they're, like, chopped up and then on top of, like, a cream or something, on top of, like, something to kind of hold them down, but she, like, put them into the actual, like, baking process, which is why they're probably not completely done, because, like I said, she probably didn't want to burn them. But some of the cookie almost looks burned too. I just don't know what kind of dough she used, like what kind of cookie dough she made. But like something like this, you know, it doesn't look bad. Looks like anything but cookies. I just don't know what else it could be. They're fruit bars. They're fruit bars in cookie shape. But yeah, and then sadly, we've learned Ethan is covering his hand enlargement surgery by saying he got a bee sting. My God. Tiny hands who? You know, the bee sting really shows off how petite his fingers truly are. I could see her maybe having tried a strawberry shortcake cookie. Maybe. Yeah, like something like this. Okay. This might have been what she was trying to do. Okay, I see the vision. These look way better, though. See, that actually does look almost identical. Like, get rid of the cream on top, but the unevenness in the dough and then the strawberries inside. But again, she didn't chop up the strawberries and just put one whole, like a couple whole ones inside the dough. But yeah, that is probably more likely what it is. Those look good as fuck. Those look so good. I genuinely could smash those. Jolly Ethan is back. Papa bless, truly. Our king is back. What if he came in and he was like completely like, he's like, I have a bee allergy, and he was just swollen completely. Yo, I recently had bee sting on my left hand too. It felt like Raven when she had an allergy reaction. Had an allergic reaction. Oh, I forgot about this episode. This is how Ethan's about to walk into the the podcast today. He's walking into the studio like, "What's up, guys?" It's a pretty good prosthetic. I know this is super low resolution, but I mean for a kids' TV show. Good prosthesis. The brown butter cookie dough with white chocolate chips and freeze-dried strawberries. Guys, I'm cooking. And that sounds good. I'm so tempted to try that out right now. Everybody about to make some strawberry cookies to show Anissa how easy it actually is. I thought they meant Raven from Teen Titans. LMAO. I did too. That's why I just looked up Raven allergic reaction, because I was like, it's either That's So Raven or Teen Titans, and I can't remember either episode having this type of thing happen. But I haven't watched That's So Raven in so long. See, I was a bigger Corey in the House fan. I actually did like That's So Raven a lot. But my sister liked Hannah Montana more, so we watched that on occasion. That's why I'm wearing the wig today in Hannah Montana glory. And then two quick shout-outs, I guess. So the one is a shout-out. I guess we'll do the Steven Crowder one first, because it's not a shout-out. This one's a denouncing. Bad man, bad man. I will say, gotta give him some credit for doing something like this after the death of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Using that clip was kind of, I want to see you in a pilgrim outfit again. There we go. But give him some credit for that, I guess, of putting himself out there. But you can tell that part of it is just the view grab, because they weren't doing too hot. You know, they were getting 500,000 here and there. They were doing pretty. You know, they were just dropping consistently. But then these hit big. 2.7 million 5 days ago, and then 4 days ago, almost 1 million. See, this is where they went wrong. You should have had something buffer between these, because this buffer, you should have called this part 1. Or not even a part 1. See, you're just dumb. They just tried to do a cash grab with the second one, it seems like. Because legitimately, you could have made this maybe just one video, but you made it the same length. Does it have the same people in it, or did you use that girl in the thumbnail and then not show her interview? Okay, maybe he does just have 3 hours. Either way, you should have had a buffer between these videos, because it would have encouraged the algorithm, where now you're just kind of flooding it with similar content. Especially because this thumbnail is almost identical, so anybody that saw one might have thought, it's just the same thing. Last line of defense. What about Wizards of Waverly Place? Ooh, Wizards of Waverly Place, great show. See, I actually watched, if we had to talk about like what show I've seen all the way through, I probably haven't seen every episode of Corey in the House. I've definitely watched Wizards of Waverly Place all the way through. Wizards of Waverly Place, I definitely got all the way through that. And Hannah Montana, even when they switched into like the beach house or whatever, or from the beach house to like the house on the pier or whatever it was, I watched that series pretty consistently because my sister was a big fan. But Wizards of Waverly Place, I probably watched all the way through. And those, I'm just talking about, this genre, this generation of shows, because obviously there are other series that I've watched all the way through, like Malcolm in the Middle, King of the Hill. Those are my 2 big ones. But if we're talking about like Disney and those are all Disney properties, right? Yeah, those ones are all Disney properties. Nobody was feeling Cartoon Network live action. Nickelodeon had good stuff. Everybody loves some iCarly, some Drake and Josh. I watched Drake and Josh a lot when I was younger. And let me not talk about my favorite cartoons or my favorite TV shows while having Steven Crowder on here. I'll say this quickly. Shout out On the Porch with Ian. He had on Jarvis Johnson, for those of you who know. Great first episode. I loved the ending segment. in which they do a Space Draft 2025 where they choose characters and draft their own Space Jam teams. Pretty cool stuff. They also start off with the trolley problem. The trolley problem, killing Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Jarvis Johnson Gold, and Lemon Water to save Ian. Would you do it? It's quite the conundrum. But great episode. Shout out On the Porch with Ian. Hannah Montana, great show. Cartoon Network pilled. See, I loved Cartoon Network, but the whole thing is that there really is like eras of it. Like there's, I do have to say that the newer stuff on Cartoon Network, it's starting to get back into like some good writing. You know, we have the Amazing World of Gumball. That is a decently written show. But you know, we were always jamming on some Adventure Time, some regular show. Wasn't Steven Crowder the voice of Brain on Arthur, or am I tripping? He was the voice of Brain on Arthur. And let me give you guys another Steven Crowder trivia fact that I love to bring up when talking about Steven Crowder. Sorry, we're kind of jumping back and forth between these topics. All credits. There we go. On his IMDb page, if you look at actor, all of his acting chops. Oh wow, he was in a lot of stuff. He was pretty good. Oh yeah, Arthur. There's Arthur. Oh, where is it? There it is. The Velveteen Rabbit. His joke that he made at Sam Cedar, calling him the Velveteen Rabbit, saying you got Velveteen Rabbit eyes. Did he only say this because he was in the movie The Velveteen Rabbit? And so, don't play that. Don't play a trailer. Don't know why I clicked that. I thought it was an image. Was he just in this movie and so he thought it was just a reference? First thing that came to mind was his childhood acting career. He was like, you might be on Bob's Burgers, but I was in The Velveteen Rabbit. You look like the Velveteen Rabbit. I was in Arthur. He was in The Covenant? Wait, what? This is kind of niche-er. Arthur and Magic School Bus, very good. Chowder, Flapjack, Foster's Home, etc. Those are goated shows. See, I probably watched Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends all the way through. Flapjack and Chowder were good, like, shows that I saw a lot of episodes from, but I don't know if I saw it because it doesn't have like a storyline, so it's hard to know if I've seen all the episodes of those. A lot of stuff. Total Drama Island. Steve was Brain from Arthur. Total Drama Island. Sorry, I just keep seeing Total Drama Island. Total Drama Island was the first show I watched that said crap, and I thought that was so cool. Well, because Total Drama Island, and then I watched Total Drama Action, and then I think after that they did another series, and that's when I stopped watching. As soon as the original cast was off, I was done. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Y'all remember the movie with Jordan Michaels? where Will has to go back and meet his the child that created him, Jordan Michaels. All of the old Flash games, the Cartoon Network Flash games, were banging. Who remembers, this wasn't Flash, but who remembers Fusion Fall? This game was low-key ass, but just having it be the Cartoon Network properties was kind of cool. See, because the characters themselves weren't that good, but you'd get these little, these little floaters, these little floaty guys that would follow you around, and they were the actual characters, the character designs, in like a chibi version. I didn't want to be caught dead watching Total Drama Island. That's just because you're not cool balls, chat. You ever go on the Lego website when you were a kid? That shit was amazing. Do you mean like where you could build Legos, like where you could build Legos on the site? You could build your own little sets. I thought that was kind of cool. I was definitely an internet kid. We've talked about the bad stuff that I saw, but I saw a lot of good stuff too. Saw a lot of fun stuff, a lot of cool stuff. You know, I'm sitting low in my chair, so these things don't pop out of frame. Oh, but I keep like falling lower and lower. Because if I'm like this, then I am just... what was it from It's Always Sunny? I already forgot. Anoga? I don't remember. Anogo? Is that it? Oingo Boingo? That's kind of in frame. There we go. I wish mobile had the chatter at autofill like desktop. Yeah, that is one of the worst features of YouTube mobile. I think it's weird. I just got a notification on my thing that iOS users, I don't know if Android users have it, but now I've had the memberships available since 500 subscribers, but apparently it only goes live for mobile users at 1,000 or something, I guess. I don't know. But it finally went live for mobile users, and I do find it odd that most of the people that use YouTube, I imagine, use the mobile app, and the fact that it isn't like that isn't the optimized version is a little bit odd. But I guess it was just because this was where they all started. YouTube started out as a desktop site. They got to keep it optimized for desktop. Lego Flash games were dope, so true. The Lego website had Flash games and a version of MySpace. Oh, I don't remember that. I guess I don't remember that bit. Ongo Gablogian. There you go. Thank you. I have a hairnet on underneath this. It's low-key writing down. There we go. Got to get the bang set right. Perfect. Can you guys even see the braids or no? Let them fall in the front a little bit. It's just kind of too white, I guess. This wig actually glows in the dark. Sitting under these lights, it'll probably glow if I turn them off, but then you wouldn't be able to see me. Oh, choices. But swiftly moving along. We have a video from LUS. I honestly have never really watched any LUS, so I am interested to see their perspective on this. And then a video from Legal Mindset breaking down the newest information about the snark mods. Reddit is legally cooked, as well as exposed H3 snark mod lawyer did not go to law school to become a lawyer. Oh no.
Why can you not stop lying? Why are you gay?
Yo, Madman hit 420 subscribers yesterday. Let's go. WeChat, where you at? Where you at? WeChat, where you at? Where you at? But here's LUS. I actually watched a video about Legal Mindset, breaking down why he's a bad guy, and I think it's where Hassan might have gotten the passport bro stuff. And honestly, all I took away from it was that Legal Mindset was about as big of a scumbag lawyer as I thought he was. I mean, it didn't prove anything to me that I didn't already just assume true, to be completely honest. And that's why we need to remember, we're not looking at these lawyers to be good people. We're looking at them to tell us the law. LUS had, let's just say Lus. Lus had an interesting video on Legal Mindset's claims about Roman P. Lus is good, though he does ramble sometimes. Roman P, huh? That's what divided lust and legal mindset. Pissing contest. Who'da thunk? But yes, this is by LUS. Exposed. H3 Snark mod lawyer did not go to law school to become a lawyer? What?
So this is going to be a very fascinating video. I will begin this video by saying these are my opinions. You know the video is going to go pretty wild when I have to start the video with these are my opinions, right? So who is the H3 Snark lawyer?
The transphobia was somehow a surprise to me. I should have seen that one coming. I mean, legal mindset, look at him. He looks like a good old boy, doesn't he? I mean, he literally looks like every sleazy lawyer you've ever seen, you know what I mean? He is what Better Call Saul is like calling out.
Lawyer. What type of lawyer, in my mind, a copyright attorney, an IP lawyer, would subject themselves to whatever this is? This is a lot. This is a lot of information. This is a lot of documents, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot like the concept is he at least look at it before putting it in a legal.
Yeah, true. Legal mindset. He's definitely a bit gross, but also definitely a lawyer. So that's the way I see it.
Document to submit to the court to then make public. We are talking about 10,000 plus hours of content reading various mega threads, as well as entire live streams of video that have been documented and timestamped. According to the H3 Snark moderator, she doesn't have, or he or she does not have a ton of money. So then the question really becomes, if it's not about money, and I believe the H3 mods don't have a ton of money to pay, then what type of person would accept a client like this? A client that is very needy, very time wanting. I mean, it's just going to eat up all your time, and a client that may not have much money, right? According to the client themselves, they don't have much money in the filings that you have actually filed. So you don't, if you don't, you don't need more evidence than that. So I went to look at the law firm. It is a smaller law firm. It is a law firm that does specialize in IP. We're going to read you what it specializes in, but in particular, so Leah Volek is, this is not alphabetical. As you can see, Carl Cronenberg and Jeffrey Rosenfeld are the two lawyers on top, and Leah Volek is the last lawyer on the list. I can tell you that does make a difference. If you are a partner, you will not be last on that list over a associate attorney. It does make a difference. So we have average.
I wish she could. I mean, I guess we can kind of just assume what that difference would be, but I don't know enough in law. Would it just mean that they have less, like maybe less credentials or less time in practice or something?
Advertising law, trademark, copyright, trade secrets, international discovery, false advertising and defamation, anonymous online misconduct.
I think it's on this video that LUS mentioned a previous job, which gave me Mutahar engineer flashbacks. LOL. I guess I'll have to say. Not gonna lie, the white hair and the dark facial hair is kind of a vibe. It goes together. The darkness from within does not shine as bright as the light on the outside. Or something.
Conduct, privacy and cybersecurity, spam law, domain names, and so on. Here is Leah's. Let me point something out. So she graduated Ohio State with a BA in history, magna cum laude. Congratulations. But she has no law school. Let me say that again. She didn't go to law school. At least according to her profile, it is, in my opinion, based on what I see here, she didn't go to law school. She became a lawyer using California Rule of Admission 4.29.
Is that where you just have to study under? Ooh, 1 second. We good.
Not every state has.
But I think that, yeah, this is where you can just study underneath a lawyer or a judge. But I think you do need a lot of time doing it, right? Yeah, the study must be at least 4 years with 48 consecutive weeks each year.
This, by the way, it's going to be very state specific. So she went to college in Ohio, decided she wanted to practice law in California, but didn't go to law school in this very special program. And you might be like, oh, that's AI review, that's AI review. Yeah, most stuff, even on lawyer websites today, they're written by AI for something called search engine optimization. So yes, every content you're reading online, outside of like user generated content on like Reddit or YouTube comments, is probably AI generated, especially in the legal field. I will tell you that. I'll just tell you that from owning a marketing agency at this point in time. So this is actually a rule in the state of California where you don't need to go to law school and you can still become a lawyer. Very interesting, right? Again, state dependent and not.
Is that what you were talking about? Was it Unk that said it? Is that what you're talking about, Unk? Saying that he just owns a marketing agency? Because that is a little bit vague. That could mean a lot of things.
Every state will have this option, but in California, there are strict requirements where a lawyer is your mentor. It's almost like trade school, right? Like you need a mentor. And yeah, it's exactly like an apprenticeship in California. Now, is this common? No, it is not common. You can complete at least 2 years of college to finish the rest of their legal education in a law office or a judge's chamber. A person must have studied in a law office at least 18 hours each week for at least 48 hours to receive credit for 1 year of study in law school. Now, this would explain a lot. Now, am I saying that lawyers who go to law school are better than lawyers who don't go to?
Yeah, I too own a marketing agency. There's only one employee though. Yeah, owning something like owning a company isn't the same as like I guess it's kind of almost what he's saying about this other person. It's like the credentials don't necessarily lie just on the title alone.
The law school, in my personal opinion, yes. There are a lot of things that you interact with other students that you learn. You're learning different types of law.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to bring up Bruce Rivers in a minute. Because I have to bring it up when we get to legal mindset. Because you're going to be upset, Alex.
Right? Like law professors are generally experts in their field. I had a law professor on the First Amendment, and he was the expert on the First Amendment, the leading source on First Amendment thought and legal rulings and so on. So when you go to law school, you're hoping that you will be taught by the very best lawyers out there. In their different fields. So your civil law professor is different from your torts, is different from your IP professor, different from your patent professor, different from your banks and trust professor, different from your family law professor, different from your First Amendment professor or constitutional law professor. These are things, these are different professors that have spent their entire lives researching in the scholastics, if you will. And some of them actually have practiced law to a very high degree. So when you're looking at this stuff, why is it so long? Why is it written the way it is? People have said it's AI written, which should, again, it's not my opinion this is AI written. I think I can explain this even better. So that's an explanation that people in the comment sections have been making. Oh, AI wrote this. How could, I'm reading this. It must be AI. Look at the amount of stuff generated. I'm a patent attorney. The best patent attorneys, my dad's he was a patent attorney, then he went into contracts and so on. You learned very early on, the best patent attorneys get to the point very fast.
That was also a little weird.
I'm a patent attorney. The best patent attorneys, my dad's he was a patent attorney, then he went into contracts and so on.
So he's saying he's a patent attorney. But then he quickly talks about his dad being a patent attorney, or that he used to be a patent attorney. And I'm going to just assume that he is, and he just followed in his father's footsteps. But that was also just kind of a weird. I guess that could just be him rambling though, like we also see him doing, I suppose.
Um, you learned very early on the best patent attorneys get to the point very fast because they don't have time to do this. You don't. You have a lot of clients, and when you have a lot of clients, you want to be as you don't want to present multiple areas that can attack you, so you don't want to go very broad. You just want to get to the point. So when a patent attorney or a patent agent corresponds with a patent examiner who doesn't want to give you your patent, or again, it's a opposition type of nature. It's been my experience, at least. You do not have time for them to go after your second or third or fifth or fourth argument. That's not going to happen. You're going to go after the first argument, and if your first argument wins, everything else is moot. You won. You got your patent. We're done. We saved everyone time. We saved everyone headache. And at the end of the day, nobody.
It's funny how different LUS and Legal Mindset are. Yeah, they do have very different demeanors. LUS is a lot more monotone, which I don't think. I mean, I guess it depends on the judge, right? But it could weigh in his favor or against him in an actual courtroom, right? Being so dry and bland in his speech.
Nobody's spending 10,000 plus hours having to read this to comprehend, what this is. A lot of it, in my opinion, is completely irrelevant. It is written very poorly. There's no logic behind. Is it chronological? No, there's different. It's like a really bad movie. Like it's a really bad movie where you have multiple characters. You have Ethan Klein. You have San. Why is Frogan part of this story? I get it if they sued in the Frogan case and they wanted Reddit turn it, and they very might ask in the Frogan case because you might get different discovery, like Frogan's text messages to mods if they do exist. But in this particular case, it's only about Dennis. Why is Shoe on Head? Why is all these other people being mentioned? Why is Jay Shetty? Like, I don't even know like 90% of the people here are being mentioned.
I think part of that was also the reason that when I was reading like the like why I got so confused when I was reading like the messages from like the actual statements from the moderators themselves, because this almost feels like it was written by somebody that has like no legal knowledge, but I guess this could explain that as well. They didn't write it themselves, they just hired someone who also didn't know how to write it.
Mentioned. And I don't need to know 90% of the people here mentioned, because this is a case. When you link to Denon's live stream, is that potentially, again, you don't have to prove guilt at this point, right? We're only trying to figure out, is there a potential guilty? Can you potentially be guilty of contributory copyright infringement? Well, that depends on the text messages that you and Denon talk to. It depends on your DMs. It depends on a lot of things that we don't have at this point in time. And again, this lawsuit should just say, we don't have those. And that's all it really needs to say, is that we, as I mentioned, if I was a lawyer, I would just make this like 5 pages. I'm not guilty.
So he's not a lawyer. He's just a patent attorney.
I'm not guilty because of this reason. I'm not guilty because I had no idea Denons would commit copyright infringement. I'm not guilty because Denon didn't commit copyright infringement. But even if she did, I'm not guilty because I had no idea she committed copyright infringement. Even if I had an idea Denon would commit copyright infringement, I had no idea she would commit at the level. That's the mitigation that we always talk about in the other cases that you guys like to comment about. I mentioned quite often. Carl Jobs, right? The mitigation. There was very little to no mitigation on Carl Jobs' behalf, and the judge slammed him with the full amount that he could slam him with. So back to the questions here. Like, the question here is, what type of lawyer would be okay with putting her name, his name behind something like this, and then being it public, and then understanding that I cover it, Legal Mindset is going to cover it. Other people on YouTube, even non-lawyers, are going to cover this issue. Reddit, of course, Reddit is going to get this now. A lawyer that didn't go to law school. I mean, there you go. I mean, is he a lawyer? Yes. I am not contesting that she is not a lawyer. But she went a atypical route to become a lawyer, which is weird, right? When you think of...
I mean, it is an atypical route, but it is more, to be fair, it is more like time in a practice, seeing how legitimate like courtroom, engagements are happening. And so I don't know if it's necessarily better or worse, but it's definitely different. I hope Ben Shapiro gets gassed first. Someone should bomb that building. When discussing the Republican NRA convention, these incidents are widely documented in news reports and community commentary as examples of Klein's willingness to push boundaries with highly provocative statements. What does this have to do with What does this have to do with copyright and fair use?
Of a lawyer. Okay, most of you just kind of just forget everything I just said. Think about a lawyer. You go to hire a lawyer, and you learn that lawyer became a lawyer because by not going to law school, like you would expect. Let's say somebody sues you. God forbid Logan Paul sues you for defamation. You go to the law office. Would you think that lawyer went to law school? Yes, you wouldn't even imagine, you wouldn't even know that there are programs, because you're a non-lawyer, you're just a layman.
So we'll come back. I think he said if I was a lawyer.
Mentioned, if I was a lawyer, I would just make this like 5 pages.
Maybe he's saying there and he's just mumbling really bad.
As I mentioned, if I was a lawyer, I would just make...
Maybe he's saying if I was the lawyer. Maybe that's what he's saying. He keeps blurring that line. Is it your dad? We'll never know.
Or terminology for you. You would not even know that most average people wouldn't even know you could become a lawyer without going to law school. You would assume that you went to law school for 3 years, got taught, passed the bar exam. Here, it's not the case. And like I said, it's very bizarre because I go back to the original question I've asked is, what type of lawyer would be okay putting your name behind this? Let me explain something. Very early on in my legal career, I met a patent troll. He was from Nokia. He had somehow acquired a bunch of Nokia patents. He was in Dallas, and he wanted to work together. I absolutely hate patent trolls. A patent troll is a patent attorney who essentially does what he does. He gets the Nokia patents, and then he sues every small business with any radius to him. It's almost like those handicap attorneys, which are just as bad as patent trolls, in my opinion. And they go to a shopping area, they push, the client, I put that in quotations. Oh, the client can't get to here. The client can't use the bathroom. I get that. I get it should be wheelchair accessible and so on, but then they would sue every...
No, yeah, I can't tell if English is his first language or not. That's why I'm not trying to make fun of his accent or something. I can't tell if it's an accent or a speech impediment, to be completely honest. Because it could also just be a slight speech impediment. Maybe even that mixed with a slight accent. I honestly don't know. He definitely has a different way of speaking. That mixed with his monotonous delivery is kind of like... It makes him say, if I was a lawyer. But...
neighborhood. They document it, and then they sue, and then they sue. They're not expecting to win. They're expecting to settle. That is the idea of a patent troll as well. And once you become a patent troll, once you have your name on these lawsuits, your career's over. No law firm is going to hire you. No litigation. Your career is dead. It's dead in the water. So when I was interviewing for this job, as soon as I found out it was a patent troll, I interviewed in person, I took the plane back. I took the next plane back. It actually had arranged plane tickets, and there was supposed to be a lot of like events and so on. I bought my own ticket just to go back home because I was not. It went as soon as it became apparent, and it wasn't apparent until like maybe an hour in, that something wasn't right, and then later it became really apparent like what his law
Okay.
firm actually did. He hid it well, and the reason you hide it is because you understand that you're not going to get recruits. I
Okay,
interviewed
that's
with
what he
two
said.
other individuals, and they all flew back to like one of them was from Ohio, and yeah, we all just kind of said looked at each other and said, yeah, we got to get the hell out of here because you understand there are certain things you can do as a lawyer that will stain your reputation as a lawyer that you have to avoid. I would suggest that this is definitely one of them. Given
Sorry guys, it was my fault today. I was expecting them to start at 1. That's why I started later today. I guess I'll move it back tomorrow, but they'll still be late. So it's 12:30. We'll see what time they actually start today.
the coverage that I, Legal Mindset, other people, Reddit, there's you guys even
Legal mindset. I know. That is why you're supposed to put in grammatically correct. Wow, that's great grammar on my end. To put that in the right sequence, you always put I last because he just said I legal mindset. This guy's a lawyer.
given the coverage that I, Legal Mindset, other people.
I know that's not what he's saying, but just the idea that that's what he's saying is so funny to me.
This is definitely one of them. Given
He's just a little confused. He doesn't know if he's a lawyer. He can't remember if he's legal mindset or not. If English actually is his second language, then I'm not making fun of him. I'm the bigger dumbass. I can't even speak a second language. I'm trying to learn Spanish, and I'm half Mexican. Call me stupid for that.
given the coverage that I, Legal Mindset, other people, Reddit, there's you guys even watching the video will watch. And secondly, it's just weird. It's just weird. Again, she probably saved a shit ton of money not going to law school, and good on her. That's probably the path forward for more people. Let me put it this: more people should do the path that she did. Okay, but you put your name behind this, you're going to be criticized for other things that are not relevant, and that's exactly what I'm presenting here. Is what is the relevancy that she didn't go to law school? How relevant is this to actually putting your name behind this? I would never put my name behind something like this. The best patent attorneys, my dad was one when I was in middle school. He always taught me how to do patents. This is how I got my allowance to buy Pokemon packs, was I had to train to be a patent attorney. And the very best patent attorneys, even I understood when I was in 6th grade, the best patents in this world are simple. There's this big Pokemon patent that everyone's freaking out about. It's simple. That's why they're freaking out about it. It's not complicated what they're trying to patent. It's a really simple, very clean, very obvious patent.
Tie it all together.
This thing is just not it. I would never put my name behind something like this because it would stain my reputation. Again, my opinion. That's for me personally.
Is he saying it would stain his reputation at this point because of the long nebulous document that was written, or is he saying that he wouldn't have even gotten involved to begin with because of the... I'm a little bit confused by that because he kind of trailed off there at the end. But either way, I agree that being involved in this is kind of a bad look. But hey, look for that payday, you know what I mean? Just hope that they can pay you at some point. Oh, so now he's a Pokemon trainer too. Can't believe a word this guy says. Let's move on now to the most trustworthy YouTube lawyer. Untrue, unfactual. That was a lie. That was defamation on his character, actually. Legal mindset. I mean, look at him. Look at his face. You trust this guy? Look at the hat in the back. He finishes his videos, finishes his streams, puts on that hat, walks out into the city ready to go. I'm going to Korea in April, so I'm learning Korean now. Oh, it's dope. Yeah, see, I just need to learn it because it's like, I also live in an area where there's a lot of Spanish-speaking people, so it becomes something that is necessary.
Reddit is absolutely legally cooked. We're going to get into a bombshell leak that will change everything today on The Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge.
Yeah, are you mad at this, Alex? He got rid of his sexy intro. He's got this boring ass intro now. Garbage. Garbaggio. Really
teach you a bombshell leak that will change everything today on The Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. All right, so we
even he wasn't happy with the intro. Look at his face afterwards. Oh my god. LMS is Saul Goodman IRL. He's like, if Saul Goodman was a real person, because if Saul Goodman was a real person, you know he'd be a bigger scumbag than he was in the show. Like, you know, he's like, oh, there's lovable traits of Saul Goodman, this and that. Like, Legal Mindset really is just, you know, you'd have a conversation with him and you go, whoa, bro. And he'd go, what? That's the law. And you'd go, that's really all you care about, huh? Ay, caramba. He probably has a name for the hat like Fernando. So true. He probably calls it Inigo Montoya after Princess Bride. Ah, Inigo Montoya. Time for a night out on the town. Because he's about to go slay.
All right, so we've been going through the case of Ethan Klein versus the orbiters of Hassan, including the Reddit mods. And in that, we've been looking at what's going on with them and also their legal liability. And we now have a leak, something that was brought to my attention and something that, as far as I know, nobody else may know about this, although Ethan Klein will soon be very, very, very aware of this. And I'm sure his lawyers are going to be very, very interested in this because it blows wide open this case. Once again, Ethan Klein suing for copyright infringement, and he has massive power behind that lawsuit.
I hate how he always uses the worst pictures of Frogan and Casey, but good pictures of denims in the thumbnails. It just feels so misogynistic. Do you like how I did the opposite of that? Honestly, it's funny because there are more bad pictures of Casey Tron too, but Casey Tron in denims than there are of Frogan. Frogan's more, you can tell Frogan cares more about like her lighting and like the angles and stuff that she takes pictures from. Sometimes denim just out there. I agree, Kelsey seems very misogynistic. Yeah, like I'm saying, he definitely just seems like a good old boy, you know? I know that term has taken a new light to actually mean a good old boy, but no. Don't forget where it came from. He's the kind of guy to know the age of consent in every state in the country. Yeah, I mean that's why he's always in living in Asia, right? No. It's not for that. It's for doing law stuff. That's kind of the speculation everybody makes, right? That's like why they call him a sex tourist. And there is like a clip of him talking about how Asian women in Thailand love foreigners. They love the tourists who come to have sex. They want to have sex with you. And in reality, there's just a high like sex trafficking rate and high levels of prostitution and stuff in Thailand. But go on. Again, we're not here to talk about him personally. We could just take a look at him and know that he ain't a great guy. We're here to get some insight. And honestly, we're going to call him a little bit of a dumbass in this video because he is a little bit too forthright in his beliefs in this one.
lawsuit because the damages are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, potentially millions, right? If you look at scope of damages from all of these creators, leeching revenue, leeching potential sponsorships, etc., taking his content wholesale, he's got massive liability. There's even potential punitive damages based on the intent, right? Based on the fact that these people had malicious intent to steal his content. So looking at that, we had Reddit mods that were in this case, right? Because we obviously know Casey Tron, Denims, Frogan, all of these casted characters are liable, but the Reddit mods are a big part of this. This is, by the way, totally not AI and totally an accurate photo of a Reddit moderator. I think it's very much real to life. But the Reddit moderators were hoping to hide.
He uses AI images too. Didn't even spell Reddit right, dumbass.
They were hoping to cower beyond their, behind their internet anonymity, right? They have power in the fact that they are anonymous and that nobody knows them and they can reach out and say things and do whatever. But now they're being exposed. Now they're being called out and they are terrified. They're absolutely scared that they're going.
See, I just need Bruce Rivers to start talking about it. Once Bruce Rivers talks about it, then we can stop watching Legal Mindset. LUS really does just fucking ramble. Bruce Rivers is just too busy actually talking about the David arrest, Diddy trial. Criminal lawyer reacts to man fleeing at 133 miles per hour after stabbing. Criminal lawyer reacts to armed shoplifter rushing officer during something. Bruce Rivers is just ahead of the game.
Going to be
Legal Mindset's coming for the views.
Exposed in this, and they filed a motion of 700 pages trying to hide from responsibility. Well, that's not going to happen. Their identity is going to come out. And
we need Emily D. Baker. I think I've only ever seen one of her videos. I didn't even recognize the name, but after seeing her, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, her. I watched one of her Diddy videos. We just need more people on the case.
One thing that's been coming out is who these people are exactly. And the big news is that beyond all comprehension, we now have proof that Reddit is directly tied to these moderators, which are going to be sued. So let's go into here to this. So these are screenshots that were forwarded to me. Now you have one of these individuals here, one of these mods, nicknamed Roman P, who's listed in the lawsuit, right? So we're gonna look at these text messages or these screenshots, which were sent over to me before they were deleted, right? Because once again, they were going back and deleting and sweeping these things up. But now we've got conclusive proof here that kind of nails them in here. So them saying, so he thinks he could sue Asman and XQC, but he doesn't want to sue them. Why? Surely the reaction videos stole more views from him. Is this kind of admission he doesn't care about any potential financial damage, only about his personal beef? And then someone responds, did you know you're mentioned in the lawsuit? Just clicked on the first one, skimmed around it, and saw Roman P. So this modern...
See, I was going to say that Bruce Rivers discusses more serious topics, but he also reacts to body cam footage and stuff sometimes, which I guess is serious on some level because he's just discussing certain aspects of the cases that could be drawn from it, but it's still definitely less serious than a legitimate case that is happening. So like when it's just I have seen him do, after I saw the videos, I have seen him do some simplistic body cam reactions.
Moderator, this is the head moderator of this subreddit, is named, and they go, oh my god, thank you for telling me, this is the funniest shit ever, I can't believe this. Well, guess what, it's not going to be funny for them for very long. It's funny for me, it's hilarious for me. Then you've got them over here saying,
that's fair. I guess that is what the carve out is. Bruce Rivers is about criminal stuff. Ethan's lawsuit is civil. It's a fair point. Gotta remember all the different types of law.
I can't believe you're outing yourself like this. Classic mistake of criminals returning to the scene of the crime. So, Roman P says, cat's out of the bag, now the real fun begins. So they're pretending they're going to have fun here now that they're named in this lawsuit. This is going to be fun for them. Certainly, this is not going to be fun. We're going to see why. Next, you see here some cast of characters, including a very well-known Hassan Orbiter and Stan here, who's saying, we're going to build a shield wall for you. Roman P thanking this questionable individual, who is definitely a separate person and not me on just another one of my sock puppet accounts. Well, if that was actually the case and you were this individual, that would be even worse for Reddit because it'd have some negligent hirings, all sorts of...
I do think this person's just trolling, or at least they're trying to troll on a high level, making these jokes. But it's also just showing how pathetic they are to be so keyed in on all of the stuff that Ethan has said about the Reddit users having, especially the moderators having sock puppets and being employed by Reddit. Because I don't know if they are necessarily employed or not based on the statements that they made that he shows.
Of other stuff
they could just be
going
trolling
on if that was the case. But once again, associating with some questionable characters and then going even further, showing the lawsuit, showing exactly where they are named. So highlighting that user, use/Roman P, which is there amongst others like _ right Salamander and H3 Snark mod team. So they're clearly named in the lawsuit, right? Clearly named in the lawsuit. But here is the real bombshell, folks. Here is the thing that blows this case wide open and can lead to the absolute destruction of Reddit. This could be enough to tear Reddit down, the whole institution, if Ethan decides to pursue it aggressively, which, he has no reason not to at this point. Let's flip over here. You have an admission, a 100% confession right here. They're saying, concern level for you. This whole thing is so odd. Roman P, once again, the head moderator, saying not concerned at all, balancing working at Reddit and being the head moderator for H3 Snark has kind of been stressful, though.
See, this is what I mean, is I think this person is just trolling. It's kind of... like, this is so, offhanded, and, this person's based reaction. He is kind of running with it, and I feel like, again, they're, on some level, legal mindset is just chasing the bag.
Have a confession right in front of everybody, in front of God and everybody, that the head moderator is a Reddit employee, is working at Reddit. This person, which has civil liability now, and potential, and once again, once we dig, there may be criminal stuff that comes out, who knows, right? They are on the hook for this. And they have put Reddit in a horrible position, particularly because we had the separate filing disclosure where we had Reddit admins offering us free subscriptions to privacy software to remove our PII from the internet in case we're doxxed and harassed. So this is called scrubbing evidence. They're deleting evidence, spoliation of evidence. This is potentially criminal, even. And we want to know, is this the admin, Roman P, the employee of Reddit, that was offering the PII software? Are there others involved?
The fact you can't tell they were being sarcastic is rough, to be honest. LOL. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that they're working at Reddit. I think that it's possible that at least one of them is working at Reddit, because we do know that, like he's saying, they did get the PII stuff. So there is a possibility that someone is working at Reddit, or at least working with Reddit in some way. So that's clear. But themselves being a Reddit admin from one just kind of clear joke said offhandedly.
Involved. These are all things that Ethan Klein can now dig into freely. His lawyers and Ethan Klein's infinite money glitch can go out there and dig into this and figure this out. And in case you guys understand the legal concept here, because of course we're on the legal mindset. We are always both educational and entertaining, which is why, by the way, this is a fast facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. Make sure you like the video and leave a comment below if you like this type of content and you like us exposing giant leaks like this. So let's get into this.
See, I'll just never forget, legal mindset literally says, The legal mindset where we teach you to be your own judge. And I think that is the worst advice you could give somebody. Like, as a lawyer, that is a terrible thing to say. Let me teach you how to be your own judge. What? You're not going to be your own judge. You're not going to be like... Don't think about it from your own perspective. You have to think about it from an outside perspective. And it's not about you. It's about how the world is going to perceive what you've done. Even if it is a joke, they screwed themselves by putting it out there. Yeah, I do think that there's something that could be said there. I saw someone on, I think I saw a comment or something where someone was talking about what it could lead to by them even making the joke. The fact that they are saying that it all a troll or not could cause them more trouble because they'll have to prove it's not, or they'll have to prove it's a troll. But he's acting like it's for sure real, not trolling at all. Yeah, that's true. I guess I didn't even think about that. They'll have to... I guess once they figure out who the person is, though, then they'll be able to know if they actually are, what their employment, history is. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to take it completely at face value. Haha, legal mindset thinks Ethan is a whale. I mean, yeah, the way he talks about Ethan's money, like, Reddit's like $1 billion company, isn't it? 38.51 billion USD. Yeah, I think they have a little bit more money than Ethan does. But that's why instead of legal mindset, you better call JG. These ones are honestly a lot crazier. They're kind of like, is it J-Oma? Is that what the guy's name was? There was the other guy who was like getting pedophiles and stuff off. He was getting crazy stuff. Definitely P&P is the most righteous. People in P&P's comment section would say stuff like, you're really releasing Gotham City villains and all this stuff. But we didn't realize the true people that were getting let off. Oh, he outed himself on Twitter with a Pokemon post. I guess I just haven't seen that part. I have heard all of that he is transphobic, and I can just believe it. I mean, it's not hard for me to believe. Again, I can just look at him and kind of understand that a little bit of a chud, if we had to guess. But better call JG.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a great day. I get to make another video, and I'm happy to give my client Jesus a dismissal on his case that was set for trial today. It was an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So, pretty serious case. Case had been pending about a year.
Dude, assault with a deadly weapon. Just don't post this one.
There was enough probable cause to arrest, but a reasonable prosecutor looked at it and...
Also, he needs to work on his shaving skills because he's got like a soul patch on his lip. Right where he's like, what's that called? A Cupid's bow? Is that what it's called? He's got like a soul patch right there. It's like the tiniest, like Hitler mustache, the tiniest toothbrush mustache.
Decided that they couldn't prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury of 12 people. So I know you were pretty stressed out about this, Jesus.
Yes, I was.
Again, congratulations.
I appreciate you.
All right.
If I need a lawyer, you already know who to get with. JG right here.
I appreciate that, sir. It was a pleasure representing you.
Thank you very much.
If you guys need me for any type of criminal case, call me 281.
He looks so disappointed. He's so glad that he got off, but he's like, damn, I forgot he was going to post this after. There we go. No face, no case.
I'm ready.
Ready?
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here with one of my good clients who wishes to remain faceless, but I want to give him his...
See, this dude's smart. The rest of everybody else after this should take a note from this guy and just never show your face. You don't have to. He won't make you.
A dismissal for his felony dismissal today in court in Harris County. You happy, sir?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right. If you need me, 281-235-8786.
He's going to get identified by his tattoos.
Thank you and have a great evening.
PNP is just actually trying to do good. He's actually trying to do good in the world. He's seen how much crime is truly happening, and maybe he's flipped the script. Maybe he's putting people in now. He's no longer a defense attorney.
Client Brandon, and after a long, fought-out case, happy to give you a dismissal on your case.
Appreciate it.
How's that, brother?
I'm doing good, thank you.
It was, what, 9-10 months?
Yes, sir, long time.
And we finally got what we wanted, which was dismissal. So that big bad felony goes away, and you get your freedom back.
Thank you, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Good day, everybody. Client Brandon.
You always
Client Brandon.
You always know they're going to be a great lawyer when their suit isn't fitted.
Good morning, everybody.
When it's not custom fitted and it's a little too big or a little too small, you know you have a great lawyer on your side.
JG coming at you from the Harris County Criminal Courthouse up in felony court, and with my client Reginald.
Burglary with intent to commit another felony dismissed. This guy really takes whatever case. They even dress in like JG.
Today was my first day officially on his case, and in about 15 minutes we secured a dismissal for his felony case, burglary with intent to commit another felony. Reginald, I'm happy. I know this has been weighing on your mind heavily,
Man,
so I'm happy to give you this.
thank you, Mr.
And you're welcome. I'm so happy that you got this because I know it was a lot of weight on your shoulders.
Thank you, Mr. JG. At least he has multiple suits that don't fit him.
Hey, good
right.
set.
You know what I mean? At least he has a bunch of suits that don't fit him properly. That's a good thing. The jacket is too small. Look at how his cuffs are coming out, and then the pants are too big. The jacket is somehow simultaneously too short on the sleeves, but then too long on like the coat, like the hang on the coat.
Saturday to you. This is JG coming at you with my client Angel, and happy to present him today with a dismissal on a felony weed case in Harris County. Just got it dismissed, and I wanted to give him that. How do you feel, bro?
Good, man.
Oh, sorry to all the Harris County viewers. He's he's setting these people out into you. This guy just has a felony weed case. This one's fine, as long as it wasn't sprayed. If it was sprayed, throw him in prison. But if he's selling some sprayed mids, fucking throw him under the prison. But he's really setting these people back on the streets for you guys to deal with.
A lot is good. A lot of stress relief on my shoulders. You got to dismiss, man.
All right, man. I'm happy for you.
Thank you, man.
Stay out of trouble.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. Good day. Hey, good.
Stay out of trouble for sure, bro. He's got weed underneath this. It's not even a do-rag. I guess it's just a wrap. He's got a hair wrap. I know he's definitely got like some... Are there in Texas? I guess he might have wicks in Texas. Have wicks made it to Texas yet? I feel like it would just look better to let him hang, but to each their own. Oh yeah, GP coming at you. GP coming at you. JP coming at you. 3 months out from his rotator cuff surgery. See, he's just showing us who he is, giving us a little taste of his life. That's why we roll with JG. If you need a defense lawyer, you know who to call. Okay, so we do still have some time. 12:36, like, oh, late as always. What did I say? Let me put up the thing, the poll. I forgot. Who'da thunk? And then I'm gonna read. That's a creepypasta. Tell me if my poll is bad. Did I spell anything wrong? How late will the H3 show? Oh god, I didn't put start. It's a terrible poll. whatever. You guys can figure it out. Oh, 69 likes. I won't ruin it. I'll leave it there. But today we're reading Sonic.exe. Let me put on some spooky music for us in the background. One sec. Can't have any of these on repeat, but not on complete repeat. There we go. Perfect. Oh, perfect. So spooky. The thumbnail finally updated? Oh, there we go. As I pulled away. The downfall of iDubbbz. See, they're trying to mimic my lazy eye that I give iDubbbz. It's not really even a lazy eye. It's a malformed head that I give him. But they can't seem to do it. See, they actually have seemed to up the game on the upscaling. It looks a little bit better here. They didn't give Ethan an STD this time. They didn't give him a single herpy on his lip. It does make the wrinkles a little heavy, a little dark. Like, if you're going to give him at least a little airbrushing underneath the eye before you do the upscaling so that it's not as dark. Now, you know, the circles can be gone. Talk about spooky. Don't read it, it's cursed. Yes. Sonic.exe. Creepypasta story. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I liked how you get to explore the towns in it. Until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual and left. I paused my game to go and see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle. Let's just call him that. Whom I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized his handwriting, though what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry. You were able to identify his rushed handwriting. That's interesting. You could know you could recognize his handwriting so much so that even in this like scribbled, panicked motion, you could still read it. That's a true friend right there. As mail carriers do. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late. And I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it, he's after me. And if you don't destroy this CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. He's too damn fast. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc and you'll destroy him. But do it quick, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it, please. Kyle. Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Kyle is my best friend and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me. God damn, this music's so loud. Sometimes it just goes and starts blasting. I didn't think that a simple game would do anything bad to him. After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong about that. Anyway, I looked at the disc and it looks like any ordinary computer CDR disc. except it had black marker on it written Sonic.exe. And it was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from someone else, like a pawn shop or eBay. When I saw Sonic was written on the CD, I was actually excited and wanted to play it, since I'm a big Sonic fan. I went up to my room and turned on my computer and put the disc in and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game, and I was like, awesome! Please, because like I said earlier, I like the classics. The first thing I noticed that was out of place when I pressed start, there was a split second when I saw the title image turned into something much different. Something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember what the image looked like in that split second before the game cut to black. The sky had darkened. The title emblem was rusted and ruined. The Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 666, and the water had turned red like blood, except it looked hyper realistic. This almost sounds like some Sonic music going with it. It kind of fits. But the freakiest thing that was in that split-second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding, with two glowing red dots staring right at me. And his smile and stretched wider and up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, though I figured that it was just a glitch and forgot about it. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so, and then another weird thing happened. The save file Select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, what the fuck? What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Anyway, then I noticed something off. The background was the dark, cloudy sky of the bad Stardust Speedway level in the Sonic CD. Or from Sonic CD, sorry, pardon me. And there were only 3 save files. Oh, this song's like completely unfitting. This one's just a little bit groovy. And there were only 3 save files. The music was that creepy caverns of winter music from Earthbound, only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse. And wow, you could detect that the music was in reverse. That's so interesting. I knew it was the caverns of winter music from Earthbound, but it was played in reverse and extended. And the image from the save file where you see the preview of the level you're on is just red static for all 3 files. What freaked me out more was this character Select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik? Now, I was sure that something was up. I mean, how can you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game, for crying out loud? That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It was a hacked game. Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy, but as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared. Or at least, I tried not to be. I told myself that it was just a hacked game and there's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, shaking off that creeped feeling, I picked file 1 and chose Tails. And when I selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds. And I heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded an awful lot like that Kefka guy from Final Fantasy before cutting to black. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more. Then it showed the typical level title thing. Except the simplistic shapes were different shades of red and the text showed only Hill, Act 1. The screen faded in and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in the green hill zone from Sonic 1. The music was different though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. However, it started playing and had Tails start running like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. What was odd was that as Tails was running along the level, there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down into slow, deep tones, very slowly as I kept going. Here, I'll switch the music up. Oh my god, the music's changed. Yeah, we got Final Fantasy characters. Eventually Donkey Kong Country will join in, probably. I suddenly saw something and I stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals, lying dead on the ground, bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face that I never saw him have before. So I had him move along, and he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowers and he moves past more dead animals. I was shocked to see how they all died. They all looked like somebody killed them in rather gruesome ways. A squirrel was hanged on a tree with what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off, and a duck had his eyes gouged out and his throat slit. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there were no more animals and the music seemed to have stopped. But I still kept Tails to continue. After a minute passed after the music stopped, Tails was running up a hill, and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was there, on the other side of the screen, with his back against Tails, with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious to Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed that I wasn't even moving the keyboard to make him move. So this had to be a cutscene. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feel of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was about to happen. I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots, just like that title image. Though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds, and then white text appeared, forming a message saying, "Hello. Do you want to play with me?" At this point, I was creeped out.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Monday.
The podcast started. I guess this is where I'm going to have to stop. I really do appreciate everybody that stopped in. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see more creepypastas, I'm doing more creepypasta streams. I'm probably going to do another Halloween-related stream. If not later today, then tomorrow. I know there's other people streaming today as well, so we'll figure it out to get more streams going, because I really do appreciate everybody that stops in. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're doing more creepypastas, more other topics as well. I have some other horror topics. We're going to be talking about some true crime stuff, some orbs, some occult topics, what tarot actually is, why black cats are considered bad luck. But I really do appreciate everybody that stopped in. I wonder what happened in Sonic.exe. I guess we may never know. But thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe again. This is Captain Quasar, signing off.